Hey there, party people. Slightly different format today because about a week or two ago, this was floating around on the yurimanga subreddit. It became a bit of a trend for a while, and I just procrastinated to the point where I never actually participated, but I still wanted to make my own Yuri square. So that's what this video is. I'm going to be going over all these topics and give brief descriptions of the Yuri girl love things that I talk about. Completely off the cuff and unscripted, so let's see how this goes. Now, for the first square, first GL. So, this is probably going to be something that no one has heard of. It is a manga called Goku Joo Drops. And the reason why you may never have heard of it is because it is a manga that was never translated into English. I just kind of fell upon it one day on the internet and read it, and I enjoyed it. So the main premise of this story is a little rich girl, poor girl thing, where this cute little thing right here is put into this big, illustrious dorm that has a reputation to it. And she ends up in a subservient position to this girl here. And then romance and shenanigan happens. It's a very short manga, about only 3 volumes. So, I kind of recommend it. It does get spicy. So, if you're not into that kind of Yuri, it's not your thing. But, it's good, old-fashioned Yuri kind of stuff. Nothing that breaks the mold or stands out above anything else. But it's nice. It's fun. Now, my favorite character in all of Yuri and Girls Love is a tough choice because I can say characters like Chisato from Licorice Recoil, and if you say that that's not a Yuri, I will manifest in your walls and replace all of the insulation with pudding. But I can also say Hamura from Madoka Magica. I can say Ray Taylor from I'm in Love with the Villainess. And that one's actually the closest, because my favorite is Claire Francois from I'm in Love with the Villainess. She is such an amazing character. And a lot of it comes through because the story of I'm in Love with the Villainess is told from Ray's perspective. So you are getting to learn about Claire Francois from the perspective of someone who truly loves and understands her. And that comes across to create such an amazing character. An amazingly nuanced character too. She is incredibly layered. And then it goes even further with the spin-off light novel, She's So Cheeky for a Commoner, which is the same story, just told mostly from Claire's perspective, which adds even more nuance and layers to make such a well-crafted character that it is impossible for me not to love her. Now, for the Girls Love that I didn't expect to love, I do not start reading something with the idea that I will dislike it. So I'm not ever really surprised by something that I enjoy. I'm more disappointed by something that I don't end up enjoying. That's not to say that everything I will read is specifically things I like. I will absolutely read something that sounds terrible, but in a fun way. So regardless of whether it's good or not, I'm going in expecting enjoyment. So, what I will do for this one is more so, which one did I like more than I expected to, and give me more than I was expecting it to give me, and that would have to go to Assumi Chan is interested in lesbian brothels. Because I was 100% expecting smut, I got smut, but I also got a weirdly cute and wholesome story along with it, which is insane to me. So this one really surprised me and elevated the status of how much I enjoyed it based on what I was expecting it to give me. And I feel like that fits the criteria of this square very well. Now, for red, because it's popular, I have a list of not just Yuri anime or manga or anything. I have a very long list of many types of medias and genres that I have yet to get to. So, it's really easy to find one that's like red because it's popular. It's like, yeah, there's a bunch of popular things I haven't gotten around to yet. I just very recently got into watching Jujutsu Kaisen. So for here, I did start reading Bloom Into You because of all of the recommendations I've been seeing and how much people have been talking about it. That eventually finally pushed me into reading it, and I understand. Even though that's a different Yuri anime. Technically, I still haven't started reading it yet. I have, the manga on a wish list, so hopefully for Christmas I'm going to get a bunch of volumes and I can read. But I did watch the anime. Wild how that just kind of stopped. At least I'm in Love with the Villainess had the courtesy of ending at a plot point end. Bloom Into You just kind of stopped in the middle of a plot. Insane. But yeah, it's really a good story. I am invested. I really want to read the manga, but procrastination is one hell of a drug. But now for my favorite Yuri anime. And gee, I wonder if it's the one that I made a half-hour video on and is related to my favorite Yuri character. It is I'm in Love with the Villainess. This is bar none my favorite Yuri anime. Yuri story, sorry. It is my favorite. It is so good because it has the comedy, it has the drama, it has the action, and it has just the realness to it. I go into it more in my video, talking about it, and I will have a future video when I get around to it. Again, procrastination's one hell of a bitch, but there is such a genuine nature in this anime that is completely digestible as well. Like, it hits very heavy topics in the light novel, and I'm able to feel them, even though I do not relate to any of the situations that are given as who I am as a person. I don't relate to them on that level, but I still feel it. I can internalize it because of how it's presented in such a way that it resonates with you on a deep level. But again, that's more for a big future video that I hope to make before I die. Now let's talk about something that needed to die. I can't think of many Yuri manga, anime, light novels that I've actually dropped, intentionally at least. There are plenty that I just forget to read. I've already said why. But one that sticks out to me that I definitely just dropped like a hot stone was I'm Not a Succubus. Now, I was interested in this at first because, it sounds like Rosario Vampire, but it's Yuri. And that sounded fun enough. Like, if it was executed well, I could see myself enjoying it. It was not executed well, fundamentally. On a deep, fundamental level, it was not executed well. It's very raunchy, which is fun, but the story, the characters, I just could not bring myself to care about them because the entire thing is predicated on the main character lying about her human status. She lies that she's a succubus, and that's the entire premise. That is the entire plot. The entire plot is predicated on that lie. That is not enjoyable. Just straight up not enjoyable. To clarify here, a plot like that can work. It worked in Rosario Vampire, and it works in Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun. But the main difference between those series and I'm Not a Succubus is that the characters in I'm Not a Succubus are boring. They are not interesting. There is no other plots and happenings within the first 2 volumes outside of the lie. So the lie is really the only thing that's going on in those first 2 volumes. So I just could not bring myself to really get into it because I just did not care. But what I do care about deeply is the next one I'm going to be talking about. The girls' love that I wish I could read/watch for the first time again. And that would have to go to a very recent one, Love Bullet. So yeah, you might have noticed that I made 2 videos back to back where I talked about Love Bullet. Well, one wasn't talking about it. One was a manga dub because that's how invested I got. I needed a certain scene from that manga to be voice acted, minorly animated. I needed that. So I got voice actresses together and put that together. And by God, you need to watch that. Please watch that. It's very important. If you're a fan of Yuri, if you're a fan of Love Bullet, please just watch that video. You know what scene it's the dub for. If you've read Love Bullet, you know what scene it is. And I would love to experience reading that the first time again, because that was such an impactful moment. It was only in the first volume. Many stories need many chapters to get to the point where you just feel your heart being crushed. Love Bullet did it within the first volume. That's amazing. And yeah, even though it was heart-wrenching and sad and so bittersweet, I would love to experience that for the first time again. Because fundamentally, I'm a bit of a masochist. Now, for underrated girls' love, being kind of on the bubble of many fandoms, like, I am interested in a lot of things, but I rarely actually interact with fandoms. That's just fundamentally who I am. It's like, I should do that better, because I need to interact with more people, collab, network, all that fun stuff. Need to get a better handle on that. But, so I don't really understand what is truly popular and what is truly underrated, but from what I feel, and what I would like to be more forefront from what I've noticed, would have to be Super Women in Love. I don't see people talking about this too much. And it's Sentai Yuri, which is fun. It's only 5 volumes too, so it's a short run manga. I just don't see anyone really talking about this. It's a fun manga. Villain lady discovers that the person she's fighting is a really cute girl, falls in love with her, that kind of thing. I believe there is another anime similar to that. The name is escaping me, but you know the one that I'm talking about. It's a heterosexual relationship in that one. I hear that's good too. It's on my list. But so, a Yuri version of that, with its own story, its own take on how that whole thing goes. Because I believe it is a different format of how it goes, because I think the villain lady actually is kicked out of the villain group at the beginning of the series and joins the hero, whereas I think in the other one, the villain and the hero are in a perpetual Romeo and Juliet situation where they still are on opposite sides but are dating anyway. At least that's what I understand. I haven't watched it. I don't even remember the name. But yeah, I would love an anime of this. I think it would be really cool. For comfort, girls love, maybe a bit of contentious because it's technically not Yuri in terms of genre, but if you've read it, you know it's Yuri. New Game. New Game, I have said on multiple occasions, but it's been a while since I've said it, is one of my favorite anime. It is my go-to comfort anime when I need to feel inspired, when I need to feel my passion burn up again. I go to New Game because it is my most inspiring anime. It is the anime that I watch that makes me feel like I want to work. And it just so happens to be very gay. Admittedly, it's more subtext. But hey, 2 of the characters do canonically get married at the end, and there is a visual novel, where you can marry off the girls to each other. Sadly never made it to the States because we don't get shit in the States. But I'm counting it as Yuri, and you can't stop me. My video, my rules. But so, yeah, that's my Yuri square. What do you think about it? If you know what Goku Joo Drops is, sound off in the comments. I really want to know more people that read this. Even if you do not like Goku Joo Drops, I just want to know that I'm not alone in having knowledge that this series exists. Everything else I feel is pretty standard fare. Except for maybe the contentiousness of New Game, but I don't feel like I really delve deep into anything too crazy or obscure, so what's your Yuri square? Let me know. I want to know that too. I want to know a lot of things. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Happy Thanksgiving to those in the States because it's that time of year. What are you thankful for? I'm thankful for Yuri. And I'm also thankful to you guys for liking the video, subscribing, and all that stuff. I actually am very, very thankful for that. I'm not joking at all. It means the world to me. I've had several times where I just kind of feel the crushing weight of despair, and just knowing that there are people who enjoy what I make helps me out so much during those times. Like, genuinely it helps. More than you know. So, just hitting that little thumbs up, just hitting the subscribe button, even if you don't watch any of my videos ever again, just doing that, it means so much. So thank you. I'll catch you next time in the void. Later.